Well, so we're sitting here, like I keep turning the air down because, because I'm getting cold, which is really nice because you have AC, but your window's a little darker than most Cirrus windows.
Yeah.
And that's because you got these jet shades. So I keep talking about that you are a company called Jet Shades.
Yeah.
And so for those who aren't familiar with it or haven't seen it in the Baron, these inserts that you're seeing around us and up here, it's actually making this cold in here, is your product, is your jet shades. So now they're custom fit for the plane. What exactly? How does this work?
Well, you know, I was dying in that eclipse in Florida, so I, like every pilot, put stuff in the windows. And one day I said, "There's got to be a better way." And I thought of putting in an insert. So I went and I made one, and I went to a car company, and they put some film on. They said, "No," they said, "We won't put film on that. It's plastic. It'll curl up. It won't stick. You can't do that. It has to be glass." I'm like, "I can't put glass in my cockpit." Blah blah blah. And I argued with the guy, and he said, "I'm not going to do it." So I gave him $100 and said, "It's a prototype. Go ahead." He goes, "Well, it's going to last about a week," and it only lasted about a week. I mean, the film was pretty good, but for that 1 week, I had the coolest cockpit, and I had the dark lens. You know, it was really cool. So I went on a mission about a year and a half ago to say I got to find a way to do this. So the net result is this thing called Jet Shades, which is it's an optical quality polycarbonate. I mean, look at the visibility through this thing, right? I mean, it's and that was our intent. We really wanted. I really wanted a high quality product that you can really see through. So it ends up, what I came up with is this optical quality polycarbonate, which I found a way, working with some really good engineers at a supplying company to develop these substrates that would allow us to, you know, coat the polycarbonate and adjust it. And it's not just, these things are really good. They block, first of all, 99.9% UV. So UV is also, you know, a big challenge in aircraft, any aircraft. You know, let's block 99% of it, 79% heat, infrared heat. And then solar glare. I mean, look at the we're in the shade. Look at our instruments. You know, it blocks glare, keeps the iPad from heating up. But basically, they're removable, and so in flight, you know, we could take them out, and they're, you know, removable. That's how bright they get, and then you just push them back in. And we did actually
leave them in.
Oh, yeah, we'll leave them in. We actually did go to the FAA and got them approved, PMA for the Eclipse jet. But they said, well, they're removable. There's no screws, Velcros, nothing. They're not attached to the aircraft. The pilot can put them in, remove them during flight. So we went forward and started building them for all different models. So like the Cirrus models, they're pretty good. We can get a G5 and G6 off the shelf. You just pop them in your Cirrus. This windshield guard, which is brand new by the way, you can just pop that in. That should fit all your Cirruses. And there's one for the skylight in the back. And the goal was to block heat coming into the plane. And therefore your air conditioning, you know, works much more effectively because it doesn't have to overcome hot air in the plane.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Air conditioning? What is that?
Yeah. And if you don't have air conditioning, it'll leave you out. But if you don't have air conditioning, you have one of those coolers that does it, it'll make that work a lot better too. So as you notice, it's really comfortable right now.
Oh, I'm extremely comfortable. You're making me a little envious.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little plane envy here.
I will tell you one thing that I really like, and just as a pilot, is this thing. This headband, I came up with that, and finally, this is the final prototype. It's going to go to the market in about 2-3 weeks. That, to me, is a must-have, because when you fly and you get the sun from up top, you get that glare. I mean, I found myself getting headaches at the end of the flight and stuff like that, because your eyes were always straining, squinting, and everything like that. Now, you can see right through this. It's a clear day, so you can see right through that. It's just a very dark. And the technical side of these products, like I said, I'm an engineer, is really interesting because, first of all, they said you can't coat any kind of plastic. It won't work. We've overcome that. But there's several coatings. It's not just one. One is meant to reflect heat. The other one is meant to absorb heat. So we have this double action happening where the first solar energy gets reflected back and the second one gets absorbed. So it's a really, I mean, if inside the cockpit we've clocked temperature reductions, like sitting on the ground, of over 20 degrees, like 25 degrees, you know, versus with it and without it. So it's really, I was really happy with how the product turned out, you know.
Wow.
Some of the older planes have to be custom fit. And right now, we're actually opening up, you know, the dealers, you know, bring it to where you get your aircraft maintained. we'll send them a near net and let them trim it and put it
So
in.
now they have to get custom fit because the trim is different in airplanes. It's not standard, or over time it's warping and changing.
I learn every day. I thought I could make this. Oh, there's a PA-46. Here you go. Boom. Didn't work that way. It was like, here's a PA-46. What do you mean it doesn't fit? You know. And what happens over time is, even with Cirruses, when they install the trim, if this thing's a quarter-inch different from the next Cirrus down the line, the jet seat's going to be loose and pop out. And I'll, you know, one of the things I'm doing right now is to help overcome people. Is I'm actually working on something where, you know, we've even taken a little strip of Velcro, carefully put it on the black border of the window, not on the window itself, and put a piece on the jet shade, just in case yours didn't fit right. You know, we kind of come up with little solutions for people to help them like that, because the trim is different all along, and it does warp and it does age, and people get their trim redone.
Right.
And so that was a hard one for us.
So that's not a fault of the product. That's just it's more because there's not a standard
the way the industry is
with interiors.
Like if I was in the factory making them all, like the G5 and G6 Cirrus, no problem. The interiors are nice. They just pop right in. The M-Class for Pipers, no problem. They just pop right in, you know. So they will go right in and work easily. You buy them off the shelf. They'll fit. Some of the older planes, you're going to have to work a little bit.